Hey, welcome to the Crow's Nest. This is the first episode of a series of videos I'm going to do for Coyote and Crow. It's going to be about my experiences in this industry, where Coyote and Crow as a company, yeah, just a little bit of everything here. So today, though, for the first episode, I want to talk specifically about you as a fan of games, as a hobbyist, as a consumer, and the relationship you have with your local game store. And this is not going to be a little squishy, warm, fuzzy story. This is going to be hard data and what you can do and how you can have a direct impact on your local game store. So, in case you're not familiar, I'm Connor Alexander. I'm the owner of Coyote and Crow Games and the creator of Coyote and Crow, the role-playing game. So, to start out, I went on a road trip recently, and it was through 15 states. And a big part of it was seeing family and friends and doing some research, spending some time on my reservation, and then also spending some time at game stores along the way. And I hit a total of 26 game stores across 15 states. And before I get to the conclusions of that experience and what I got from it, I want to jump back and give you a little framework on Coyote and Crow, the role-playing game, and why I'm going to use this as an example of where this data leads. So our Kickstarter was last year, and we did pretty good. I guess that's an understatement. Some people are probably rolling their eyes at that. But we sold a little over 10,000, around 10,400 books to backers. And a year later, we've released the book into normal hobby distribution, and the way that works is that I have a sales partner who warehouses all of my books, and then they sell those books to some big distributors here in the United States. For reference, we're only talking about the United States in this conversation. So they sell, our company sells though to, our representatives sell to all the main distributors here in the US as well as international. And then those distributors sell to individual game stores. So if I sold 10,400 books, just as a guess, how many do you think I sold in the month that we released in total through distribution? And how much do you think I sold on my second month in June? Well, the answer is 900 on our first month and 100 on our second. So if those numbers surprise you, that's why I'm here to talk to you today. So now you might say, well, maybe Coyote and Crow wasn't a good game, or maybe people just didn't like it, and that's quite possible. That's quite possible, but I'm not here to debate that, and that's the numbers that I'm going to give you later in this video are going to explain why. So maybe you like it, maybe you don't. That's not really the point here. The point is that the numbers in Kickstarter compared to the numbers in the hobby distribution are drastically different, and now we're going to get into why. So those 26 stores that I visited, let's jump into that data. So I visited 26 stores. Out of those 26, 20 of them had never heard of Coyote and Crow. Not heard of it and then chose not to buy. They had never heard of it. Now, out of the 6 that had heard of Coyote and Crow, 4 had the game in store. 2 of those 4 were Kickstarter backers at the retailer level. So, and all 4 were in the position where they were about to reorder more. They had sold through whatever inventory they'd purchased, they were happy with the game, and they were ready to buy more. Now, of the 2 that didn't have inventory in their store but had heard of Coyote and Crow, both of them said, we can't get it. Now, I'm not going to name those distributors, but that's 2 out of 6 saying they couldn't get it, despite the fact that we have thousands available and those stores use the distributors that we sell to. So, of the 4 that had it, it sold well. So that tells me that 100% of the games, or 100% of the stores that carried Coyote and Crow liked the product. All right, we're off to a good start there. But now we have to understand why the 20 stores who hadn't heard of Coyote and Crow hadn't heard of it. And that gets back to a long discussion about distribution. I don't really want to get into that. This is not about finger-pointed distribution right now. What it is about how you can relate and directly connect to your local game store. Your game store, if they're not a good game store, then what they're doing is they're probably buying things that they think are hot or they personally like. That's an old school model, and hopefully there are fewer and fewer stores that are doing that out there, but that's quite a possibility. The other type of store out there is one that is actively trying to figure out what their audience wants, what their demographic wants. And maybe they're pulling from reviews or articles, or maybe they're pulling from GTM magazine, or maybe they're watching social media feeds or video reviews, or just whatever it is they're pulling from out there that all of us are pulling from, and then they're trying to make a guess as to what their audience wants. But I promise you, having worked in a game store, the best data points that a game store can receive is you going into your store and telling them what you like, what you play, what you want to play, what you'd be willing to buy. All of that really matters to them. And it's not just the regulars. The regulars are great, but it doesn't matter if you go in there one time for a gift. If you say, I really like this thing, or I was really looking forward to this, it's a data point. By the time you get to the second or third person saying that, that owner knows, or that buyer at that store knows there's a trend, knows there's a reason to pay attention to that title, and maybe they're going to see something that they never would have seen. I mean, frankly, for a lot of game store buyers, it's like walking for the first time into a cheesecake factory and looking at that damn menu. It's impossible to pick out something immediately, let alone know what the best dish is or what's popular. So help them out. The better you inform them, the better your game store is going to be, the more their sales they're going to make, and the more you're going to see on those shelves what you want to be seen. That's all I have for today. Just go out and talk to your game stores. Let them know. I'm not asking you to go out and buy Coyote Crow or to order it from stores and then not buy it. Not asking you to do that. Just go talk to them. Go talk to them. Tell them what you like. That's it. Take care.